Hello again, my friends. You join me in the 1938 opened Ridley Cinema. Now it's a bingo where your older generation would normally frequent, which if you're into voting, which is I'm going to get into a wee bit of personal things before we start this walk. If you're into voting and you think that's the only thing that's going to change your society, then look at the older generation. They've voted more than anybody in life. And when they're not getting used as human shields by your governments and so on and so forth, they are paying their TV licence and gas bills through the roof, shuffling on enough buses and family members that don't really want to spend time with them because they're in pain and suffering, full of regrets. But this is why we're here. We're here to walk and do something about it. So let me take you to the one place that you don't want to end up. Anyway, with that note, let's go. Enough of my waffling. But it's just a wee kind of side thought. And I'm not saying that we don't vote. We definitely need to vote. People died for the vote and so on and so forth. But we need to do more. We need to walk our way into better situations. We need to talk our way into better situations. Action. Call to action, my friends. And that action is love. It is companionship and unity. It's no division, that's sales. So as we walk up here, which is Ridley, I like this area. It's always got a positive feel to it. See this, I get hit with a bowl or something. But you've got your little takeaway places and your general spa stores. By the way, these are banned come the 1st of June, thankfully. And I suppose that's a good thing. But anyway, so the weather's been terrible, as you've probably seen. Constant rain, constant wind. Let me tell you about my day. Did a wee bit of training today, a wee bit of dreaming, a wee bit of contemplating. Went to see the new Mission Impossible yesterday, and it was long. It was long. By the way, this is not Faster Master TV. Some people have been asking, well, is this Faster Master TV? No, it's not. This is when, I'm in a contemplation mood and trying to relax, and I want to show you things in a different kind of level. Those who are most dynamic will survive the most dynamic situation. So there's a time to be calm, and there's a time to be sick in your mouth. And hopefully, the latter is not today, although the day is young. But I went to see the new Mission Impossible movie, and it's long. It's nearly 3 hours. And it's not the best, but they nailed the ending. I'll not tell you the ending or anything like that, but they nailed the ending. The ending was inspirational, inspiring. I was so inspired. But it's a nice night now, so I thought, right, let me take my friends for a wee walk and show you. I want to say it's my favourite place, but it's an interesting place regardless, and it's going to be changing very, very soon, so we might not be able to get near it too much longer. But I hope you're all doing well. We're nearly at peak summer, and I've got 2 jackets on. Why, there's mostly your front and back doors here. I think they're mostly ex-council, and then you get your people who have got they've went like, you know what, I'm building on a corner, the big ticket right there. There we go, a nice wee smiley face, I like that. There's like a church or a chapel here, see that? I'm like one of the computer game characters when somebody's sat in a joypad. I just keep walking randomly. I don't even know what this is. Is this a house? Am I walking into somebody's house? I don't think so. Wow. I'll turn back. I don't want any confrontation. That's for Faster Master TV. By the way, I've had some confrontations recently on Faster Master TV. I've not shown you them, I've edited them out. But I'll put them in the, I don't know, maybe in the members area or something like that at some point. And I'll show you, how I handle those situations. Some of them I could have handled better, but I'd say I had good cause to be slightly more aggravated than normal, but I'll let you decide. I'll upload them at some point. I don't want you to think bad of me. But I've always liked this area. It's got a mixture of council, ex-council. There's some really posh houses, well, really posh for the East End, up this neck of the woods. Nice big, I don't know, is it a church or a chapel? You know me, I don't know much about history. I actually had to Google that about the Vogue Bingo being built or opened in 1938. And I thought I'll give you a wee bit of information. So that's about the depth of my information. So it's quite warm now when the sun's on your back. It's maybe about 17 degrees and I'm starting to regret wearing 2 jackets. I'll maybe do a wee live stream later. Not decided yet. And I've not decided whether to do it on this channel or the other one. The only reason I mention about 2 channels is because some people are thinking, if Faster Masters after the cappuccinos, he's went awfully laid back and they've maybe not clicked on the hyper videos thinking it was a cam video if that's what we're into. But no, I want to do both, my friends. I want to do dynamic. This is how the channel began, kind of calm, walking randomly, not sure what we're going to experience and find. And then we moved on to, you know, Biteco essentially, and Tenerife, and being sick in my mouth. And I like to do both. It's the reality of my life. It's the reality of most people's lives. I just like to show you. So you get your wee, how you doing? Oh, it's the friendliest guy I've ever met. He's talking to himself and other people. Wow. Look at the size of that tree. Oh my God, that is massive. Mate, your tree's bigger than your house. Wow. Some nice wee new build prisons there. So we're in the heart of Ridley here, and if you were to swing a right and continue down, you would get to Cranhill, which has changed massively over the years. I used to go, I had many friends in Cranhill, many friends all around the world, but no, just in Glasgow. And used to go to Cranhill when it was different, but I'm going to do a video in Cranhill soon. I don't know if they've even got a pub though. My mind always goes to beer. Oh, I'm going to have to take this jacket off. It's absolutely roasting. Hold on. Is your pockets closed? No, the muff is in your pocket. This is how you lose a muff. Don't be losing your muff in Ridley. Right, jacket is off. I'm now dressed exactly like the Faster Master. And that's the way to be inconspicuous. Dress like the Faster Master. Take away places, barbers. Here, I was thinking about opening a hairdressing shop. I know you're thinking, mate, you're bald. Why are you going to open a hairdressing shop? Well, you know, a nice clean fade all the way into the wood. But I want to call it Jack the Clipper. Does anybody know if that exists? Because if it doesn't exist, then it should. And I could be the one to create it. Have you heard about that YouTuber? It's called Faster Master TV, but also Glasgow Alive. And he opened a barber shop. He's baldy, right? Weird. And it's called Jack the Clipper, you know, like Jack the Ripper. Aye, no bother, nobody goes there. It's just all fade into the wood. Everybody's going to be bald. Short back and sides, mate, and a fringe at the front. Aff, you're bald or not, mate? What you going to do now? Wear a hat like me? So this is supposed to be a relaxing channel. Can't help it. Right, there's a couple of pubs up here. Maybe do a live stream in one of these pubs. Maybe it's got a beer garden, I could sit outside there. Get kebab meat through me. Can I pet that dog? I shouldn't say that so loud. I'm going to get hey there, man. I'm going to get cheese wire on my neck here. The lead, oh, it's roasting now. There you go. You're starting to get a wee glimpse of where we're going, my friends. We're going to the one place you don't want to end up. Well, there's probably a few places you don't want to end up. Some people say Beteco, right? Don't know who's have guilt against Beteco. Did I not show you in the last video? On the other channel. It didn't do that well for some reason. You've got Latin beats, nice pints. You've got dancers, music. What else do you want? What else do you want, man? Wow, that looks horrible. What is that? Oh, it's a housing association. That's the most ironic thing ever, isn't it? When the housing association is the worst house. Is that to make us feel better about our tiny little boxes in the sky? But anyway, we're heading there, my friends. Onwards, upwards, and hopefully no inwards. Outwards. So as you can see, it's a beautiful night. Oh, look at the chairs, they're crackers, man. Wait till you see this long road up here. It's a very grim road. We'll have to be a wee bit careful. I'll tell you once we get up there why. Sensitivity issue. I have actually been in here before. I did a video where I went in and I spoke to the screws. Spoke to the screws and gave them my best annoying YouTuber patter. Didn't work. And I spoke to the woman and as I was talking to her, she went, "Roger that." And I said, "Are you talking to me?" No, in an Robert De Niro voice. She was like, "No, I was talking to the radio." I was like, "I thought you were that well trained that that's how you respond to human beings." Still not even a smile, nothing. I suppose when you're surrounded by violence and pain and suffering, it's not the most funny thing. But there you go, Barlinnie, which is rumoured, I heard, is getting turned into a museum of pain and suffering. So we're going to swing it right in a minute because I want to keep away from the main entrance because, you know, families and stuff will be getting in there and, you know, we're not here to infringe on people's tough situations, regardless of consequences and so on and so forth. As I'm not here to judge, other than myself. And let me tell you, when I'm editing videos, I've got a lot to judge. But I wonder if the gate's open. There's a gate down here where you can normally get out. It's like the weak link in the whole system. I'm going to be like Nicolas Cage in The Rock. I mean, like Sean Connery, mate, he's a baldy bastard, eh? Sorry for swearing, sorry for swearing. I'll get you some good angles of this ancient Victorian incarceration cage. It's quite hard to get pure aerial shots. Don't know if they allow drones and so on. But there you go, look at that. Little cell. Somebody told me that they had to put, I don't know if it was this prison, but they had to put cages over the bars in some prison because they were having drones coming in, and the drones were delivering things, and the prisoners, the inmates, were able to reach their hand out and just grab it, which is great if you're in there and you've got a long night ahead of you and you're getting your party remix prescripts delivered to you. But that gate is closed, unfortunately, down there. But there's your view. Think yourself as blessed if you're able to do what I'm doing, or even, you know, anything that we can do, because there's people in there I don't know what they've done, right? I'm not here to judge, but I can tell you most things that happen in there, most people are in there are through desire and fear, alcohol, addiction, you know, lack of impulse control, and some more deserving than others, obviously. But the reality is, it doesn't matter whether you're steaming drunk, we still judge people regardless that they've shut down the front part of their brain that separates us from animals, and we sell it and advertise it everywhere. We still judge them accordingly as if they are conscious beings. And you know, I don't know a better solution. I'm not saying I know a better solution. I'm half pissed half the time, but it's obviously not working. But it tells me that, you know, the more filters you have, the more angers, the more desires, the more, you know, lusts and different things, they can lead to, you know, can lead to problems. So let's hope none of us end up in there, and you continue to watch me wander about the streets and just talk kind of nonsense. A wee fragment of what I actually feel. So I very much appreciate you joining me in a wee walk. We'll take another wee continuation down here. I'll show you another wee bit while we're here. But it is definitely, you don't want to end up in there. Or a hospital, of course. But it's no easy. I tell you, I was going to run there, but that might look weird. It's like, there's a guy out there filming, and he's dressed in black, he's got shades on. He's got a wee kind of baby blue vape in his hand, and he's now sprinting away from the exit. So let's Sanny Bebop it for those born in the 80s, and they know that bit of patter. Down here. Caution, speed ramp 10 miles an hour. Wow. Wow. Wow, what's with the cones? But it's a nice night for a walk. See if a cop's turned up now and says, covert reconnaissance. I'm like, covert, mate? I'm walking about the streets talking to myself with a vape in my hand. It's hardly covert. Have you seen my channel? There's nothing covert about it, mate. Thank you for your service. So there's a bowling green up ahead. If you continued all the way up this road, you would get to Hugginfield Loch, which is, in a sunny day, it's quite nice. But again, they've let it go. You used to be able to have rowing boats in it, you could get in it, you could kind of go round about the wee island. There was a speedboat that would stop you go on to the island, but that was added to the drama. But nowadays, I remember in there was a party, right? That's you know, it's a hall, right? It's a type of hall, I'm not going to say it, I don't really know. I was 18 at the time, right? No, I wasn't 8, I was 16. 16-year-old, I was in there, right, for a party. It was somebody's 18th when I was at school. And I went to the bar and I ordered 3 vodkas and coke, and they said £3. Yeah. And they said to me, £3, obviously. And I said, wow, that's amazing. When I'm 18, I'm going to come here for my birthday. And they done that with the drinks, pulled them away from me. I was like, oh, lit, man. And that's the story of my life. That is the story of my life. Every time there's an opportunity, I wreck it, I hesitate, I overthink it, I say the wrong thing. But do you know what I realised? It just means I'm with the wrong people. And it doesn't matter if you're not drinking vodkas at £1. It doesn't matter if you're not integrated in a group, and it doesn't matter if you make decisions that miss out on opportunities, because the right people in the right situations are awaiting those who are willing to abstain from the falsenesses and the kind of fake desires and stuff like that, so that we don't end up in places like that. And we don't end up just malevolently sitting there endlessly watching random stuff. Oh, don't rant emoji, I'm off it, right, I'm so sorry my friends. The rants are for the other channel. But thank you so much for joining me on this very, uninspiring walk to one of the worst places you could ever end up in. And we'll come back here when it's closed down and we'll see what it's like then. But thank you so much my friends, I very much appreciate your support, and I hope you have a good night. I hope everything's, manifesting well, and I'll see you very, very soon.